From the royal romance's questionable beginning to questions about every part of the royal family, this is the shady side of Meghan Markle. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex and the wife of Prince Harry, has been criticized for so many things, from cradling her pregnant belly to collapsing an empire and destroying a dynasty. At this point, it's virtually impossible to know what's truth, what's rumor, and what's a downright lie. It's hard even remembering if Meghan and Harry are in the royal family or out of the royal family, or want privacy, or have an extremely lucrative deal with Netflix and multiple books on the way. And it's not like the press helps clarify. So I'm offering a little refresher of some of the most notorious stories about Meghan. And remember, I'm just the messenger. 'Cause honestly, I don't know what to think anymore. Alright, loyal subjects, the catalog of so-called scandals goes back to Meghan's first meeting with Harry, when reports say she might have still been dating her former boyfriend, Chef Corey Vitiello. Get it, girl? Play the field, keep those options open. Harry reportedly asked Meghan for digits at the Invictus Games in Toronto in May 2016, when she was still linked to Vitiello. A Vanity Fair cover story initially reported May 2016 as the start of the royal relationship. But some fans with sleuth abilities noticed this was later changed, seemingly at Meghan's request, to July 2016, with a note from the editor correcting the mistake, or covering up the overlap. Listen, friends of Meghan's, as well as the media, have commented about Meghan's ambitious nature and how she goes after what, and I guess who, she wants. Shannon Govani, a Toronto-based social columnist who reported on Meghan and hosted her at a dinner party, describes her as both a go-getter and a shapeshifter. Rumors that Meghan has told her agents to find her a superhero role point to her drive and willingness to reinvent herself. And she seemingly never stops. Even when Harry got into the hustle, when upon meeting Disney CEO Bob Iger, he mentioned that Meghan could do voiceovers. Like in an upcoming animated Disney film? Is she incredibly, maybe exceedingly ambitious and addicted to the spotlight, as some pundits would say? Or is she just making that bread and going for her dreams? Speaking of dreams, lots of little kids dream of marrying into royalty. But the royal wedding of Meghan and Harry couldn't have been exactly what young Meghan fantasized about. First up, Meghan allegedly requested for air fresheners to be used to, get that churchy smell out of the church? Maybe that's not unreasonable. I guess everyone wants their wedding day to be Febreze fresh. But not everyone's wedding day takes place in St. George's Chapel, aka the Queen's Chapel. Meghan's request was denied. One royal insider said, "It simply wasn't appropriate. This is a place that has held royal weddings, funerals, and even contains the royal vault. I don't believe a request of that nature had ever been made before." So the wedding couldn't smell the way Meghan wanted, but at least she could have a say in what she wore, right? Well, there's a royal protocol for that too. You see, Meghan wanted to choose her own tiara for her big march down the aisle. She had her heart set on the one with emeralds. But the history of that particular tiara couldn't be established, and there was some thought that it might have come all the way from Russia. Gotta keep the politics out of the family gatherings, Besides, it's customary for the Queen to select a royal bride's tiara, and Queen Elizabeth had selected a diamond and platinum one for Meg. Not too shabby. But apparently this caused a big fight between Harry and Meg when Harry had to deliver the bad news that the emeralds were a no-go. And in turn, that caused the Queen to have some harsh words for the Sussexes. Meghan cannot have whatever she wants. She gets what tiara she's given by me. And this is the really shady bit. She asked Meghan why she needed to wear a traditional wedding veil, given that it was her second marriage. Yeesh. Other people's outfits seemed to similarly bring the drama and laid the scene for the first big altercation between Meghan and now sister-in-law Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales and future queen. While initially it seemed Kate and Meghan got along great, and it would be a partnership at the palace. Buckingham Palace, that is. Things started to dissolve because of, get this, Princess Charlotte's flower girl dress. There's a lot of mystery surrounding what actually went down, with some reports that this was all over whether or not the flower girls should wear tights. Kate, on the side of tradition, was pro-leg sock, and modern Meghan, pushing for something reasonable in the May heat, voted for bare legs. Empires have crumbled for less. But that might not even be the root of the problem. It might have been that Princess Charlotte's dress wouldn't fit, prompting additional fittings. These fittings were apparently stressful, and Kate ended up in tears. This story circulated for months until, during her 2021 televised interview with Oprah Winfrey, Meghan said that Kate actually made her cry. Sob, I'm sorry. It's just so hard not to cry at weddings. Now, Meghan did also say that Kate had apologized and even bought her flowers to say, my bad. Meghan wouldn't dish any more in the interview, saying the event really hurt my feelings, but that I don't think it's fair to her to get into the details of that because she apologized and I have forgiven her. I'd say that's pretty classy. But the rumor mill has kept churning out enough about the beef between Kate and Meg to keep us gossiping anyway. Yep, if anyone had thought things would calm down after the madness and pressure of the royal wedding, no. Becoming an official part of the royal family, for a while anyway, hasn't been a piece of Victoria's sponge. Meghan's been outspoken about how the family, which is referred to as the firm, not exactly homey, is it, lacks warmth. She finds the formality and the many strict traditions and rules stuffy and off-putting. Some have criticized her for mocking these traditions, like when she did her infamous mock curtsy in her Netflix show. But there's also speculation that the standoffish treatment she's received from her in-laws is rooted in good old-fashioned racism. Clearly, there's been a lot of change within Windsor Castle, in our culture at large, and it seems the negotiation of this change hasn't been handled particularly well. I mean, looking at these kinds of systemic problems is, not exactly a strong point of the royal family. It's hard to be in a house with so much tension. And it's not just the members of the family who suffer. Meghan's seen multiple staff members leave her side. In the spring of 2019, 3 of Meghan's employees handed in their notice and peaced out. First, she lost her personal assistant, Melissa Tubati, who had a pretty grand exit when she left, less than 6 months after the wedding. Apparently, the demands on her had become too much, said one royal informant. She put up with quite a lot. Meghan put a lot of demands on her, and it ended up with her in tears. So, people change jobs all the time, right? Well, then there was the departure of her private secretary, Samantha "the Panther" Cohen, who gets points for her nickname, and who worked for the royals for 17 years. No problem, we'll bump up Meghan's right-hand woman, Amy Pickerel, and she could take over from the Panther. We'll get her a great nickname too. Nah, Pickerel said cheerio in May and joined the conga line out the door. The royal staff's notoriously loyal, turnover's rare, and people tend to hold their positions for decades. To have so many leave so quickly is practically unheard of. While we don't know what's really happening behind those closed doors, it's safe to say that something's going down. But a big question behind all of this is, how did Meghan not know what she was getting into? In the Netflix documentary series Harry and Meghan, Meghan claimed to be completely ignorant about most of the customs of the royals, and even British culture as a whole. In her Oprah interview, Meghan claimed to not even have Googled the royals before meeting them. And this is the part that I get stuck on, 'cause, come on! Meghan was 35 when she first got with Harry. She's from California, in the entertainment industry. She was living in Toronto when she was on Suits for 7 years. Canada's part of the British Commonwealth, and the Queen is literally on their money. She's regularly complimented as being smart and studious, and it's hard to believe that she really knew so little and wasn't curious enough to do a little light internet stalking, don't judge, we've all done it, on the famous family she was marrying into and the country she was moving to. But as I said, keeping the rumors and the trumors straight is not for humble subjects, mere public citizens such as myself. I'm just going to keep watching the live soap opera that is the House of Windsor. Season 122 coming up. From an uncertain timeline to just plain uncertainty, that's the shady side of Meghan Markle.